it's officially 9:30, we'll call the meeting to order and we'll start off with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation. And if the clerk could take the roll, please.
Commissioner Look.
Here.
Commissioner Brastad.
Here.
Commissioner West.
Here.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Here.
Commissioner Meisner. Commissioner Gamache.
Here.
Commissioner Schulte.
Here.
Hey, the first item is tax claims and abatements. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brastad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. Then we have review of checks issued from Finance and Central Services and from Human Services. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Then we have approval of our minutes from the April 9th County Board meeting. Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. So under Chair's remarks, we have 3 items today. First, we are recognizing the incredible work of our Adult Protection Senior Services area, and we'd like to remind people of all the wonderful upcoming event that we have for our seniors and their families. As you know, the county is seeing our senior population grow significantly. We expect that in Anoka County, the senior population will rise to almost 70,000 people over the age of 65 by the year 2030. We are very fortunate to have a senior services unit within Anoka County. And this unit supports area seniors in a whole host of ways. Joining us today is Denise Kermis, Manager of Behavioral Health and Adult Services, Leslie Lundequam, Supervisor for Adult Protection and Senior Services, to tell us about the services available for seniors and the exciting event planned at the end of this week. So welcome.
Madam Chair, members of the board, thank you very much for allowing us to be here today. I'm Denise Kermis, Manager of Behavioral Health and Adult Services. And we're just going to take a few minutes just to explain our services that we provide in Anoka County for seniors, and then we want to just highlight our Senior Expo that will be happening this weekend. And I'm going to turn it over to Leslie right now to tell you a little bit more about senior services.
Good morning, Madam Chair, members of the County Board. My name is Leslie Lundequam, and I supervise the Adult Protection and Senior Services Unit here with Anoka County. And I just want to thank you again for giving me a few moments to talk about the great services we're doing for our Anoka County seniors.
Sorry, we're doing
Yeah.
Okay.
So, as you're aware, the senior population is on a very steep incline. By next year, our 65 and older population will actually eclipse our K through 12 school-age children for the first time in history. And over the next decade, 1 in 5 Minnesotans, and then more specifically, 24% of the adults here in Anoka County will be over the age 65. This graph kind of demonstrates the growing senior population across the entire state of Minnesota. And as you can see, the metro counties do have typically fewer seniors than the outstate counties, but our Anoka County area is still seeing a very rapid growth in our senior population. And Anoka County is actually growing at the senior population is actually growing at a much faster rate than the rest of the 7-county metro. And this one is more specifically about the Anoka County senior population and our growth. As Madam Chair had said, we're going to see about 70,000. It's actually going to be about 72,000 seniors that will be over the age 65 by the year 2030. Right now, we're at about 50,000 residents that are 65 or older that are living in our communities. This will have a significant impact on our healthcare and our social services system because the data shows that everyone who turned 65 in the year 2017, about 70% of them will be seeking some sort of long-term care services at some point in their life. So Anoka County is meeting this growing demand by offering some unique services. Our senior services unit works with isolated seniors that are at high risk for losing some sort of vital service to their health and safety in the community. We also have serve family caregivers that are working, caring for an aging family member through our Family Caregiver Connection program. This program provides group respite, which you can see in some of these photos. caregiver support groups, one-on-one coaching and counseling, and some community education, as well as some other services. In addition, we have an older victim case manager that provides case management, advocacy, and support for our older aging adults that have experienced some form of maltreatment, whether it's abuse, physical, sexual, or emotional abuse, neglect, or financial exploitation. We have a strong and dedicated team of social workers that work with our aging and vulnerable adults. As you can see in the top right photo, our unit chose to complete a service project through our ACAP Chores and More program, where they did some fall cleanup for a senior that lived in Coon Rapids. I'm going to turn it now over to Denise, who is going to talk more about our upcoming Senior Expo.
Thank you, Leslie. So the Senior Expo is actually 21 years old this year. This is our 21st year that we've done the Senior Expo. The theme this year is Celebrate Healthy Living, and it's just a wonderful free event for seniors to come in and get information on our resources, senior resources. There's pancakes, lots and lots of pancakes that are free. There's polka music usually every year, lots of info tables. We've got mini massages, we've got blood pressure checks, and just a lot of information. And the pancakes are just a wonderful thing. I know the first time that I attended the expo, I was fascinated with how the pancake cooker could just spit out all that batter all in that grill and then flip them all at the same time, and it serves so many people. It's just wonderful to see them all sitting around the tables and kind of talking to each other. It's just a really neat event, and I'm so thankful. You have a booth there every year too, and I just think that's a wonderful thing that the residents have a chance to meet with their county commissioners and just ask questions about the county or share some of their questions and concerns that they have about the county. So it's a wonderful thing. We really appreciate the support that you give us for that event. Next, we did have a local resident that shared this with us, and I'd like to read it. I am so glad that Anoka County puts the Senior Expo on each year. It gives me the opportunity to see many of the resources available to seniors, as well as vendors available in the area. I also take advantage of the health screenings, so thank you. I really appreciate that feedback, and I think that's very true. Here's a picture of some of our volunteers, our county staff that volunteer every year that make this event special, and look at how much fun they're having serving those pancakes. Really appreciate that. The names on the slide here are those that were on our Senior Expo 2019 Planning Committee, and I do have some of them in the room today, so I would like to ask them to all stand up so we could recognize them. And they love doing this. They just love doing this. I would also like to point out Natasha Smith, identify yourself, and Mary Bannister. They were our co-chairs this year for the event, and really appreciate all the work that they've done. Mary Bannister has been the chairperson of this event from the very first day, so she's been our chairperson of the Expo for 21 years, and really appreciate all the hard work that she's done. We understand that she's stepping down this year, but we really appreciate all the work that you've done, Mary, to make this really a great event. And we only hope that we're going to be able to kind of do as good as you did all these years. So we really appreciate. Thank you very much. Now they can sit down. No. And so just thank you very much for allowing us to be here today to talk about our senior services and our Senior Expo. Here's our flyer, so we just want to make sure that we let you know that the event is this Saturday, April 27th. It's at our Lord of Life Church in Ramsey. It's from 9 to noon. Free event, lots of pancakes, lots of music, lots of fun. So thank you very much.
Well, thank you, Denise and Leslie, and to all of you as staff who provide these amazing services to our seniors within the community. And also thank you for all of the great work that you have done in putting this amazing expo together. And thank you, Mary, for your leadership in that for so many years. It is one of those things that seniors and their families look forward to. So many times you have caregivers who are just struggling and aren't quite sure what resources are out there and available and where to turn. And this is like the one-stop shop where it literally has everything that anyone could ever think of that they might need in order to help their family member kind of make that transition into maybe more supportive environment or to have additional support services in order to keep them in their homes. So really appreciate the work that goes into this. So would encourage folks to, if you've never visited before, be sure to get out there and check it out. It really is a fun event. And there are always plenty of pancakes, and there is always a very long line if you are there early in the morning. I think that usually there's a line before the doors even
Yes.
open, waiting for the pancakes, so
Yeah.
thank you so much.
Thank you.
Next, our second item under Chair's remarks today is the opportunity to recognize the outstanding work of our staff who have some of the most difficult positions in public service. As Chair of our Public Safety Committee, I'd like Commissioner Brastad to lead our recognition of National Correctional Officers Week. Commissioner Brastad.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The first week in May is set aside to honor the brave men and women who work in both our Sheriff's Office and our Community Corrections Department. This is demanding, sometimes dangerous work, and it's performed at the exceptional level by our highly trained employees. Our detention deputies, correction officers, and other employees at the county's jail and correctional facilities provide humane conditions for inmates and work to help rehabilitate them, all the while ensuring public safety. We are certainly grateful for their skills and dedication to this profoundly important work. As part of National Correctional Officers Week, I'm going to ask Sheriff James Stewart and Dylan Workington, who is our Director of Community Corrections, up to talk more about staff and the service they provide. Good morning.
Good morning. Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. For the record, my name is James Stewart, and it is my privilege to serve as the Sheriff of Anoka County, and this morning to be with my partner, Dylan Workington, to be able to, first and foremost, thank you for recognizing our staff, and as we step forward to also acknowledge our appreciation for the work they do. A lot of people don't really think about the complexities of the work that's being done. We recognize that they maintain security in that environment and that it can be a difficult job. Sometimes we forget that it literally is 24/7, 365 in the holidays, but in addition to just maintaining the secure environment, they also have to provide a wide variety of services. It's basically, these are run like small cities, and so the inmates have to be fed and they have to be cared for. There are disputes that need to be resolved. Sometimes there's crimes that occur inside that need to be investigated, and certainly a big part of what we also try to do is to provide programs. And those programs are to stop the revolving door and hopefully help these individuals get back on a better path towards being productive members of society. And so some of those programs include the GED program and anger management and parenting classes, and the list go on and on. Ultimately, again, with that goal of trying to stop that revolving door. We're very appreciative of the work that the staff do every single day. I know that you are as well. We thank you for that. And I really don't have anything else to say other than thank you for recognizing them this morning.
Madam Chair and Commissioners, my name is Dylan Workington, Director of Community Corrections. I too want to just say thank you to the board for recognizing these staff, kind of unsung heroes. Oftentimes, 365, as Sheriff Stewart said, 365 days a year, all the time. Some of them are on their weekend right now. Some of them are crawling into bed right now. And so it's never ending. There's constant awareness in these jobs. There's constant movement. Very dependent on them to do great work, and they do great work. And I've observed that as I watch them in the facility and seen how they handle critical incidences as well. Whether it's medical management, whether it's inmate management, as Sheriff Stewart mentioned, they just do a great job every day in and day out, and nothing stops it. And so we just are very appreciative of your recognition as well as their work. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you to both of you for your leadership, and really hats off and thank you to our staff that just provide such crucial services. They are an important part of our entire public safety system, and we just recognize the incredible work that they do, and it is not easy. It is a very tough work, and you are seeing people at their very worst who have in many cases hit rock bottom. And they are there to support and encourage them to get back on the right path, to become productive members of society. So just want to thank them for their work. And at this time, I would invite the entire board to join with me in offering Resolution 2019-50, which honors the hard work of these very dedicated professionals in Anoka County and provide special recognition to them during National Correctional Officer Week, May 6th through May 12th. So with that, those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries.
Madam Chair, could I just make a quick comment? The word unsung hero was used. They truly are. I mean, we get to see deputies on the street occasionally, usually not sitting in front of their car, but we do get to see them, and we get to see a number of different law enforcement folks. By the grace of God, most of us don't see them on the inside. And it is everyday work. It's really hard. And I don't know that they ever get patted on the back, except maybe by some of their superiors within their organization. But I would appreciate it if you'd take back my specific thanks to them for their work and the fact that I do know what they do. I've watched enough shows on TV and walked through enough correctional facilities on tours that I know what they do, and I know how hard it is. And I really appreciate it. It's something that I wouldn't do, so I appreciate that they will. Thank you.
Thank you. And our final item today is to recognize National Peace Officers Week. Often they are the first people we turn to in moments of danger and desperation. We have our Sheriff's Office and 11 other law enforcement agencies that serve the citizens of our county, and it's important that we recognize these departments for their public safety work within our communities. Our peace officers respond to an astounding number of situations in any given year. In fact, in 2018, there were over 226,000 calls for service to sheriff's deputies and local police in Anoka County. So I'd again like to ask Commissioner Brastad to tell us more.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It takes a special person to become a peace officer. They intentionally put themselves in harm's way to protect the public. They oftentimes must de-escalate high-stress situations, and they respond to scenes where they encounter people on the worst days of their lives. It's important that we all understand the problems, duties, and responsibilities law enforcement agencies face. Peace officers are our guardians of life and property, defenders of our right to be free, warriors in the war against crime, and they are dedicated to the preservation of life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. And for that, we are very grateful. I'd like to ask Sheriff James Stewart to join us and say a few words. Sheriff?
Thank you, Madam Chair, Commissioners. As I indicated before, we really do appreciate you taking the time to recognize them. Since the 60s, that week of May 15th has been the Peace Officer Week across the nation. May 15th is the National Law Enforcement Memorial Day, and I'd like to personally invite everyone to the high noon event that we hold in the Government Center on May 15th, right down in the atrium. Having said that, our law enforcement officers typically are the most visible aspect of the operations. We're very fortunate in Anoka County in that our Anoka County law enforcement collectively works extremely well together, unlike honestly any that I've seen anywhere else in the nation. And that really is a statement, and I'm not just blowing smoke, so to speak. It's truly is impressive to see how they work together. And unfortunately, through tragic circumstances, as we've seen in this past week, is when we really see that interoperability and the efficiencies and the co-training and just how we work together. It's really in those moments of need where it really shines the brightest. And whether it's a tornado landing or any other type of major incidents across the county, Anoka County law enforcement and even expanded into Anoka County public safety works extremely well together. So whether it's fire, EMS, etc. On the law enforcement side of things, we will continue to try and always hire the best, to train the best, to maintain the best. And it's my attitude that by doing that, we provide the best possible services to our citizens. Our staff has embraced the concept of being ambassadors in the community. Hopefully you've seen a dramatic increase in the number of public outreach and activities that we participate in annually, and I'm proud to say that a lot of those ideas came from staff. They understand that they're not just call takers, they're not just here to take a damaged mailbox report or to respond to a domestic or a bad accident. Certainly those are all parts of their job, but they also understand that they are the community. They are a part of the community, and they not only understand that, but they embrace it. And so I'm very proud of our team in all of the different divisions. And in this case, again, I just want to thank you for recognizing the licensed law enforcement.
Thank you, Sheriff Stewart, and to all the men and women in Anoka County law enforcement. You are crucial to the public safety of our community. Madam Chair, I'd like to put forth Resolution 2019-51, recognizing Peace Officer Week in Anoka County, and I ask that my fellow commissioners join me in support.
Is there any further discussion? Well, I would just comment, having been married to a police officer for many years, and I actually have a son who is a correctional officer. I have seen firsthand just how it impacts not only them, but really the entire family ends up being impacted in some way. So I also want to thank those family members who really support those officers, because without that support, it's very difficult for them to be able to go and concentrate on their work and be at their best. And so really appreciate our law enforcement officers. No one really understands until they see them come home at the end of the day, really the sort of things that they deal with on a daily basis. So certainly want to thank and acknowledge you for that. I'd also invite everyone to the Law Enforcement Memorial to honor and remember officers who have given their lives in the line of duty in Anoka County. The memorial is Wednesday, May 15th, beginning at noon in the Government Center atrium. And if you have never been to this, I would encourage you to go. It is a very moving ceremony, and just appreciate the fact that this is held each and every year. Also, before I conclude Chair's remarks, I'd like to remind everyone that Anoka County Law Day is this Friday, April 26th, from 9 to 3, right here at the Anoka County Courthouse. And this is a free event, and it's a great opportunity to really learn how our legal system functions and about the importance of law within our society. So if you've not attended, again, another great opportunity. So now we will move on to committee reports, beginning
Chair?
with, oh, sorry.
I think we still have a resolution on the floor.
We didn't, I'm too busy talking, I forgot to take action on it. All right, so all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. Thank you, Commissioner Schulte. Now we will move on to Management Committee report. Commissioner West.
Thank you, Madam Chair. On the regular agenda, I have informational items, but we have an additional 2 items. 2 new positions in the Sheriff's Office and Criminal Investigative Division, effective April 27th, and one is 1 FTE CID investigator, and the other is 1 FTE property room technician. And as a result of a 2015 law enforcement agencies and forensic science laboratories are required to submit information of their untested sexual assault kits, which are SAK. They were collected prior to 2015. A statewide work group was set up to address the many related issues. The applicant for this grant is the Minnesota Office of Justice Programs, with sub-awardees being Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension, Minnesota Coalition Against Sexual Assault, Anoka County Sheriff's Office, Alexander House. The Sheriff's Office objective is to reduce the number of untested/submitted sexual assault kits held by our office. Through this grant, the Sheriff's Office objective is to eliminate the number of 2015 and prior unsubmitted SAKs. So with these 2 positions, that is going to achieve that item. And it is a grant, reoccurring grant opportunity, so it is no extra cost to the county.
So is there a motion to approve those positions? It's 1A and B. So the Sheriff's Office Criminal Investigation Division, the 2 positions, one for a CID investigator and one for property room technician.
So moved.
Second?
Okay, further discussion?
Madam Chair?
Yes.
Thank you. I just wanted to, it's great that we have a grant for this because this kind of came down from the state as these needed to be tested. They were in place and there were other reasons why they weren't tested over the years due to some legal issues and just the way cases are brought. But the state decided that it was important enough, and they actually provided a grant for us to do that. So I appreciate that from the state level because we don't always see the money follow the law. So it's good to see that it's happening this time, and I appreciate all the work by the Sheriff's Department to get this done, and it's great to have some money to back it up. Thank you.
Right. Thank you. Commissioner?
Madam Chair, yeah, I too want to kind of address this. I'll be supporting this, but part of the discussion we had in the management committee is what happens when the grant money runs out. And part of my concern is that at that point then it just becomes part of our normal employee pool, if you will, and we have to try and find funding for it in the future. And similar to in human services, when we have grants, it's contingent on grants, and when the grants run out, the position goes away. And so I will be supporting this on account of the fact that that I will be in a position to support the position going away if the grant dollars dry up in the future.
Thank you, Commissioner Look. And so these are contingent upon the grant funding, and I know that some of our discussion at Public Safety Committee was that we have this backlog, if you will, of cases that need to be tested and gone through, but moving forward, actually procedures have been changed so that we should not run into this situation. So actually, it makes sense that once the grant funding goes away, that the positions would go away because we won't have kind of that log of cases to be able to, or kits to have to go through and test and so forth. So I think that was explained in that particular committee. Commissioner?
Yes, thank you. Yes, I was going to say the exact same thing, that was my understanding, that these are for specific backlogged cases. And also my understanding is that this grant is going to, it sounds like it's going to be renewed until the job is done. So that's really good. And then I'm just going to make a comment as well. That's I think it is pretty complex of how the process is actually done for these backlog cases. But these are people's and for the opportunity to have a case re-examined and to have justice done, I want to point that out as well. And so this is really good. Thank you.
Okay. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we will move on to the Transportation Committee Chair Report. Commissioner Schulte.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We have a chair's report for you as our Transportation Committee did not meet. I have a number of items. First, as the chair of the committee, I recommend approval of a resolution authorizing the preparation of a highway right-of-way plat for the reconstruction of 125th Avenue between Aberdeen Street and Radisson Road in the city of Blaine.
Is
Move
it? Okay, the resolution has been offered by Commissioner West. Further discussion? Hearing none?
Madam Chair, just a
go
quick
ahead.
question. And I'm sorry, Commissioner Schulte, if maybe this is in here. I see we are adding some turn lanes. Could I just, could we have some discussion as to what turn lanes are going to be added? I know that there's some concerns. I've heard from people about some concerns in the past on, I think I can't remember the street. It's about halfway through, and there's a lot of right and left turn lanes. So I was just kind of curious if we're handling that.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Doug Fisher's here from our Highway Division. I'm sure he's got an answer for you. As a reminder, this is basically authorizing the right-of-way plat, but it does, we need to know where the turn lanes are to acquire right-of-way. So. Doug?
Madam Chair, Commissioner Schulte, County Board members, my name is Doug Fisher. I'm Transportation Division Manager and County Engineer. This project does involve reconstructing this. This is a 4-lane undivided roadway, no turn lanes, no shoulders. Essentially what we're going to do is make it look like the rest of County Road 14, where we have a 4-lane divided roadway, left and right turn lanes at major intersections. The intersection of most concern that you're referring to is Hastings Street, which is essentially right in the middle. That will be a median opening with left and right turn lanes. At that, we'll have pedestrian facilities on both sides of the road. Again, it'll match the rest of Main Street. It's kind of a small orphan project between essentially Highway 65 and Radisson Road.
Thank you.
Further discussion?
Madam Chair, I would like to comment. I'd like to thank Doug for sending out emails to all of us in regards to these with the lack of a committee meeting this month. He was able to synopsize most of these projects for each and every one of us, and I appreciate that, Doug. Thank you.
Good luck.
Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja. Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
As the chair of the committee, I recommend approval of a resolution authorizing acquisition of right-of-way for the reconstruction of 124th Avenue from Aberdeen to Radisson Road in the city of Blaine.
Is there an offer for the resolution?
I'll offer it.
Resolution's been offered. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries. Next item.
Next, a very similar item, I will recommend approval of a resolution authorizing the preparation of a right-of-way plat for the reconstruction of Foley Boulevard between East River Road and Coon Rapids Boulevard in the city of Coon Rapids.
Is there an offer for the resolution?
I'll offer it.
Resolution's been offered. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And I would comment on that item. That is in regards to the Foley Boulevard overpass over the railroad crossing. Next, I would recommend approval of a resolution authorizing the acquisition of right-of-way for the reconstruction of Foley Boulevard between East River Road and Coon Rapids Boulevard in the city of Coon Rapids.
Is there an offer for the resolution?
I'll offer the resolution.
Resolution's been offered by Commissioner Gamache. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And
Next
item 5 is, I would recommend approval to enter into a joint powers agreement with the city of Fridley for the countywide this is part of the sub-project of the 29 countywide overlay program to construct a sidewalk along the east side of East River Road, a point 1,800 feet north of I-694 and 61st Way.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Commissioner West. Further discussion?
Yes, I would just like to comment on this and just thank the Transportation Department. I think when counties and cities work on projects together, it can be easy for the right hand not to do what the left hand is doing. And I do know that the leaders of the city of Fridley really appreciate getting this done and working together in conjunction with the county to be timely and do something that's very cost effective. So thank you so much. There's so many kids and community that is going to be using that sidewalk. I know exactly where it's going down, so thank you.
Okay, further discussion?
I would just comment that this is 100% funded by Fridley.
Yes.
All right, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
I recommend approval of an Anoka County contract between Anoka County and WSB Engineering to provide and assist with construction inspection services for the reconstruction of Hanson Boulevard from J Street on 139th Avenue to Crosstown Boulevard in the city of Andover.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion?
Madam Chair, this is similar to a contract we led at our last meeting for the Hanson Boulevard Railroad overpass, except this is a little bit further. This goes not just for materials testing, but it goes deeper into inspections on the entire project. So we'll have a dedicated employee from WSB on this project with us through its completion.
Great. Roll call vote?
Brassad. Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner. Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Madam Chair, just a quick question for Mr. Fisher. Is this contract on file in Anoka County at the Highway Division?
Yes.
Thank you.
All right.
And next, we'll move on to item 7. As the chair of the committee, I recommend award of a contract to Park Construction for the reconstruction of the National Sports Center parking lot and roadway project in the city of Blaine.
Is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Is there a second? Further discussion?
Madam Chair, I would just comment that this project we've talked about a number of times. It's creating a hard surface parking lot and roadway through that area to provide for parking for the National Sports Center and also for the 3M Open as it comes upon us this July 4th.
Okay, further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Motion carries.
That concludes my report, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to Finance and Capital Improvements Committee report. Commissioner Look.
Madam Chair, we got a real busy agenda here. We met on April 16th, and while we talked about a lot of important things there, ranging from year-end results for the core funds that we have, we talked about the Finance and Central Services Strategic Plan, we talked about the Facilities Management Construction year-end report, all of which took significant time. We did come away with one action item, which is very important, and that is that the committee recommends the county board approve impressed or change funds for the surveyor's department of $100. So basically, this is a petty cash drawer that they have available for people that come and want to purchase, printouts maybe of different GIS documents perhaps, and having those dollars there and available to make change for people makes it a little easier than having to chase it around the county. So at any rate, I'll go ahead and move that important action item.
Okay, is there a second? I'll second. Further discussion? Commissioner?
Yeah, just commentary about this meeting because there was a lot of information being thrown around, and I just wanted to make a comment in regards to the facilities. Andrew Dykstra brought up, I thought, a really great idea. I believe he called it a real estate strategic plan, and just kind of bringing that forward, and it sounded like there was support in terms of exploring what that is. And long story short, my understanding of this real estate strategic plan was simply to be strategic about our properties and how that all fits, and to be both with the whatever the actual physical work is, but also financially, how are we gonna plan for that? So I just wanted to put that in there as commentary. I'm not sure what the exact steps forward for that is, but I thought that was a really good part of the discussion that seemed to get support from the other commissioners at the committee.
So any further discussion on the impressed funds?
Madam
Commissioner?
Chair, just not on the impress funds, but to comment that Anoka County has 2.2 million square feet under roof across this county. And this building alone is 568,000 square feet. So we have a lot of space that we're dealing with, a lot of roofs and parking lots and elevators and flooring and wall coverings, and I mean, the list goes on. And I just want to give a shout out to Andrew and his team, because they have, I would say with joy in their hearts, caught up with the 2.2 million square feet that we have, and they're able to make sure that these buildings are operating flawlessly, that, not that they don't have issues coming up. Obviously, there's always fires per se that they need to work on solving, but as far as our employees go, if there's concerns, they're on it, and they take care of it, and they make bad situations good, and they do a phenomenal job. So I just want to give a shout out to them on that.
Thank you, Commissioner Look. And roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner, Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner. Now we'll move on to Human Services Committee report. We have one consent item, unless someone wants to pull it out and act on it and have discussion about it. I will move approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries. The next item is to consider recommending the county board accept the 2019 local recycling development grant from the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, contract C0007130, in an amount of $304,412.01 to support recycling programs through 2019. And as discussed at the committee, much of this money actually gets pushed out to our local communities to ensure that they can encourage and develop recycling programs and services within the communities. So I will move approval. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Motion carries. And then the last item is Resolution 2019-HS9, the Economic Assistance Bills, and I'll offer that resolution. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries. And one of the items that we actually talked about during our Human Services Committee meeting was the overview statistics and outcomes report that is put out each and every year by our entire Human Services Division. And it has just a wealth of great information. And I know there's a lot of work that goes into putting this together. So just appreciate our departments within Human Services for their great work, and to Peggy McNabb for pulling this together each and every year. But it really is some great information, and I believe if it's not already available on our website, it should be soon. So it really describes the outcomes, because one of the things that we've talked about for many years is that we want to make sure that the services we're providing, that we're actually tracking outcomes, so that we are seeing the things that are supposed to be happening within those programs actually occur. Also tracks just some trends and that sort of thing, so that we can hopefully get ahead of certain items. So great information. So I want to thank staff for their work in putting that together. And now we'll move on to Information Technology Committee report. Commissioner Gamache.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The IT Committee met on Monday, April 15th, and we have 3 action items. From that meeting, the committee recommends the county board approve acquisition of Next Generation Firewalls, NGFW, to offer easier administration, intrusion detection and prevention, website filtering and reporting, automatic threat migration, and anti-malware protection. We currently have traditional network firewalls that help safeguard our perimeter, and they were implemented in the spring of 2013 and need replacement with newer, more advanced firewall technology. So that's what we have before us today. The cost is $140,749.64 with a change order of $10,000 for a total not to exceed $150,749.64. And I will, is this a motion? No.
Motion.
Thank you. I'll make the motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
All right, second by Commissioner Meisner. Further discussion? Commissioner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just I want to comment that on this new generation of firewalls, in the past, it took our staff, they would get an alert, they'd have to check it and fix it. This will automatically fix the malware threats that come through, saving staff time and protecting us even better.
That's great. Right, further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
The next item, Madam Chair, is that the IT Committee requests that the Board consider recommending approval of the award of Master Contract C0007110 with Egan Company for purchase of services. We did some of these last time. This was the last one with the master contracts, and this is basically to provide purchase of services related to cabling projects that go on around the county with technology initiatives. So I'll make this motion as well.
Okay. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
And then the last item is that the IT Committee recommend the County Board approve a memo of understanding between the county and the Joint Law Enforcement Council for the sharing and disposal of network equipment. This is contract number C0007188. This is a way that we can work with JLEC in order to help get rid of some of this equipment that has gotten old over the years, and they want to get rid of it. It's kind of a cost savings to them, and also there's nothing, it's not a big job for our IT department to do. So we like to help and work that with them, and I will make that motion.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion?
I thought it was really neat that they're going to be using some of this older equipment too for testing and things like that. And so again, just using efficiencies and being creative. But yes, I think it's really neat. Thank you.
It's an opportunity, yeah.
Yes.
Roll call vote.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And Madam Chair, we had one informational item that I just wanted to, with all the discussion about the officers and the people working at the jail, we had Dave Paschal from the Sheriff's Office to talk with us regarding some initiative to implement what they call RFID technology in the jail, which is a kind of a neat technology that allows the jail staff to just scan what's going on with each person in the jail as they're moving from one place to place. They can scan a wristband. If they're in their cell, they can scan their needs of medication and all these other different things, which saves time. Also cuts down on some perhaps interaction that could cause problems if there was someone that was having a bad day in the jail and decided to take it out on someone. This way, they could kind of stay separated in some regards, but also it makes it quicker and it's easier and it's not as much writing. A lot of times they'd have to take the information and then go back to the computer, fill it all out, and then go back on their rounds. This way it's all scanned right into the system and right into the computer. So it's a nice operation they have going, and I appreciated hearing from Mr. Paschal. And that's the end of my report.
Thank you. Now we'll move on to Property Records and Taxation Committee Chair Report.
Okay. Yeah, we have a chair report today. We also met on that same day, and we had just 2 action items. Well, yeah, 2 and 2 with a bunch of others underneath it. But the first one, Chair recommends the County Board adopt Resolution 2019 PRT 7, application for the city by the City of East Bethel for conveyance of tax forfeited property for an authorized public purpose road right-of-way for a market value of $3,600. PIN number 363323320009, City of East Bethel.
Is there an offer for the resolution?
I'll offer it.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Commissioner Brassad. Commissioner West.
Aye.
Motion carries.
The next item, Chair recommends the County Board adopt the following resolutions for conveyance of tax forfeited property. These are all along, this is all for the highway, Anoka County Highway Department, and they are all in the City of Columbus. There's Resolution 2019 PRT 13, Resolution 2019 PRT 14, Resolution 2019 PRT 15, and Resolution 2019 PRT 16, all in the City of Columbus.
And I will offer resolutions 13, PRT 13, 14, 15, 16. Further discussion?
Madam Chair, these were all pieces of property that had been tax forfeited. They're all along, I believe it is Coon Lake, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty much the properties are all wetland. They bank up against the lake on the one side and a county highway on the other side. So it's for future, if we want to expand the county highway, and this is an opportunity to take advantage of getting that property set in place for some future possible development or expansion.
Okay, yeah, with that, roll call vote.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye. Motion carries.
Madam Chair, that concludes my report.
Thank you, Commissioner Gamache. Now we'll move on to Public Safety Committee report. Commissioner Brastad.
Thank you, Madam Chair. The committee met on April 16th, and we have 4 items. The first is that the committee recommends adoption of Resolution 2019-PS04, accepting dedicated donation from Church of St. Timothy in Blaine. They fundraised, and they donated $380.50 to be used towards crime prevention, and I'll offer the resolution.
Okay, resolution's been offered by Commissioner Brastad. Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad, Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
The committee recommends acceptance and execution of Contract C0007122, the Sexual Assault Kit Initiative, which we discussed a little bit earlier. It's a grant between the state of Minnesota, Commissioner of Public Safety, and Anoka County Sheriff's Office in the amount of $442,052 with a term of February 1st, 2019 through August 31st, 2021.
Okay, is there a motion to approve?
I'll move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Commissioner Schulte,
Aye.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad,
Aye.
Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
The committee recommends acceptance and execution of Amendment Number 1 to Contract C0006964 with Nystrom and Associates for an additional 8 hours of on-site medical health services per week for the Anoka County Jail inmates, with an estimated cost of $106,800 per year. This contract term is January 1st, 2019 through December 31st, 2020. And this came about during our jail needs assessment, and we saw that we have a gap in some nursing needs, mostly directed around the mental health area. So we're adding to our contract to fill that gap, and I'll move that.
Okay, is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion?
Yeah, just commentary. I mean, I think every time that we can have better resources for mental health in the jail is a good thing. The discussion was too that, to have the appropriate people that can identify the issues right away is safer for everyone all around, not to mention the time and expertise of the jail staff. So, and I know that Commissioner Brastad also shares mental health issues, and so I'm really pleased to see this. Thank you.
Okay. Roll. Further discussion?
Oh, yes. I do share your concern for mental health. That has always been a priority for me. We see, when it's not treated in children, that it just, their lives go on and become more complicated. And so whatever we can do in the area of mental health to address that and provide help, I'm in support of that.
Okay, roll call vote.
Commissioner Look,
Aye.
Commissioner Brastad, Commissioner West,
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja,
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner,
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache,
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next item.
And lastly, the committee recommends acceptance and execution of contract C0007160 2016 Urban Areas Security Initiative Grant in the amount of $19,200 with a term of January 1st, 2019 through June 30th, 2019.
Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, roll call vote.
Rasted.
Aye.
Commissioner West.
Aye.
Commissioner Silveraja.
Aye.
Commissioner Meisner.
Aye.
Commissioner Gamache.
Aye.
Commissioner Schulte.
Aye.
Commissioner Look.
Aye.
Motion carries.
And that concludes my report.
Right, thank you. Now, we will have a public hearing, so I will turn it over to County Attorney Tony Palumbo.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this point, I will then commence the public hearing, and the purpose of this public hearing is to obtain comments concerning the proposed changes to the Anoka County Public Health and Environmental Services ordinances. I would ask the clerk to take note that notice of this public hearing has been published in the Anoka County Union on April 12, 2019, and make that a part of the record. My understanding, Mr. Dan Disroot is going to address the board on these proposed changes. Dan?
Madam Chair, Commissioners, my name is Dan Disroot. I'm the Environmental Services Manager for your Public Health Department. Before you today are proposals for changes to 3 ordinances: our pool ordinance, our food and lodging ordinance, and our shoreland ordinance. Anoka County continues a review process to ensure that our ordinances are accessible, easily readable, accurate, and aligned. Revisions to our shoreland ordinance, our food and lodging ordinance, and our pool ordinance were presented to you in October and were passed for revision. Since then, there's been some additional revision needs that have been identified. Our pool ordinance references Administrative Procedures Ordinance 79-1. Part of this ordinance revision process, we updated that ordinance too. So 79-1 is no longer relevant, and we're asking to update that to reflect the current ordinance number. Our food code ordinance, since we passed that in October, the state passed some new rules. January 1st, we have a new food code. And one of the things that they had is provision for certified food managers that was at the end, that they moved within the adopted rule range in our ordinance. And we are requesting a change in our ordinance to make sure that everybody knows that jurisdiction for employee certification stays within the state and that the county has no business related to certification of food managers. And currently, all the cities within Anoka County have and enforce their own ordinances to address shoreland areas. Linwood Township is the only remaining municipality that requires shoreland administration. Currently, Anoka County is party to a joint powers agreement with Linwood Township to administer and enforce the Anoka County Shoreland Ordinance. Following the revisions that we did, there was some additional collaborative opportunities with Linwood, and we identified some additional changes to get aligned with some of their needs. So again, Minnesota statutes requires a public hearing for these ordinance changes, and as mentioned, it did get published, and since then I have not received any emails or phone calls related to the ordinances. I will stand by for any questions. We also have Nancy Norman and Kathy Tim from our attorney's office that will assist.
Okay. Does the board have any questions for Mr. Disroot at this time? Okay. Seeing none at this time, I would then invite members of the public who wish to come forward and address the board on these proposed ordinance changes to come forward at this time. I will ask a second time any members of the public that wish to come forward and address the board. And for a third time, any members that wish to come forward. I see none. So at this time, I would then close the public hearing, Madam Chair, and turn the matter back to you.
Thank you very much. So now we will act on adopting those ordinances. Is there a motion to approve 9A, which includes 2019-4, 2019-5, and 2019-6, and the ordinances are available for review in the county administration's office?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. Now we will move on to committee appointments. We have a number of them. The first is to consider appointing Mary Agert, representing District 4, to the Community Health Advisory Committee for a term expiring December 31st, 2021. Then we have consider reappointing the following individuals to the Community Corrections Advisory Board for terms ending April 2021. Dr. Ed Evans, representing District 1, Michael McGee, representing District 4, Commander Paschal, representing Law Enforcement, Jerry Peterson, representing Social Services, Virginia Murphy, representing the Public Defenders, and then the last item is to consider reappointing Anthony Wilder and Warren Hoffman to the Coon Creek Watershed District for a 3-year term ending May 27, 2022. I would move items 10A, B, and C. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And we have one more item today on the additional agenda item, and that is Resolution 2019-52, proclaiming today, April 23rd, 2019, as Jerry Soma Day in Anoka County. Now, this is something that we do not take lightly. It's something that is, I would say, a rarity within Anoka County. But as I read through the resolution, I think that you will see exactly why this recognition is being given. An individual who has dedicated more than 52 years of service to this county, and I would say has had a significant impact not only on the work and the programs and services that we do here within Anoka County, but statewide as well. He has been recognized as a leader time and time again statewide. So I will read the resolution. It says, and I can tell you, this could have been like a book. We had to cut a lot of things out and just give a few highlights because a very distinguished career. So whereas Jerry Soma is retiring June 1st after a remarkable career in Anoka County that spanned more than 52 years. And whereas Jerry started with Anoka County July 18th, 1966 as a probation officer, was appointed Director of the Corrections Department January 31st, 1994, was appointed Human Services Division Manager December 19th, 1995, and was then appointed County Administrator April 30th, 2011. And whereas he led efforts to establish the Human Services Center in Blaine, which provides multiple nonprofit human services programs and services, and whereas Anoka County's Enhanced Treatment Program, an award-winning drug and alcohol treatment program centered on helping women who are at risk of losing their children, was established with Jerry's guidance. And whereas Jerry played a key role in establishing the award-winning Anoka County Children and Family Council, which collaborates with area schools, county departments, community agencies, and families to deliver quality child and family development programs. And whereas he helped forge an 11-county partnership to build the East Central Regional Juvenile Center. And whereas throughout his long and successful tenure, Jerry was an influential catalyst for important changes in laws affecting DWI, juvenile detention, regional medium security incarceration, work release, services for county indigent, job training, and community health initiatives. And whereas Jerry's involvement was essential to the formation of the Partnership for Family Success, which is a team composed of staff who has expertise in corrections, social services, and income maintenance that assists families with multiple challenges in becoming self-sufficient and minimizes the possibility of recidivism. And whereas Jerry commends Anoka County employees who have gone above and beyond their job duties with smiley face laden happygram notes and how we serve articles. And whereas upon Jerry's retirement, his dictaphone voice recorder must also be retired, as it's now nearly impossible to find replacement parts for when it breaks. And whereas Jerry's entire professional career has been dedicated to public service, with his leadership, integrity, and commitment to county government being unparalleled. And whereas Jerry will be missed immensely at Anoka County upon his retirement, but he will now have more time to spend with friends and family in Pine City, Arizona, and other locations he travels to. Now therefore be it resolved, the Commissioners of Anoka County declare April 23rd, 2019 to be Jerry Soma Day in Anoka County. And I would ask the rest of the county board to join with me in offering of that resolution. Further discussion? Well, hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. And we would like to present to you, Jerry, with a copy of the resolution.
Thank you.
And thank you for your incredible service.
Well, thank you. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. It's very much appreciated. You weren't supposed to do this. I was supposed to just be able to quietly leave. I do appreciate each one of you and all the staff. Again, you mentioned a lot of things, but I was just one of many. Everything that you mentioned was a team effort, and not only by the staff, but the leadership of the county board. So I'll be saying a few things later today, but every day I enjoy getting up and going to work. And I'm not quite sure what I'll be doing when I quit, but I won't be coming to work, I hope. So anyway, thank you very much, and very much appreciated. It's been a great ride. I've had nothing but enjoyment and many, many, many good memories that'll go with me for the rest of my life. So thanks again.
All right. Commissioner?
Madam Chair, can I just make a couple comments here? Jerry, do you still have that coat that's pictured here, that jacket? I don't know. Can we get that up on the main screen here on the far right there? That's a sharp jacket. That's probably worth something today.
I don't have the hair either, so.
Pants match too. Well, Madam Chair, if I can just say that when I came on here on the county board, I think it was Jay who was finishing up right at the tail end of his tour of duty, if you will. And I think I was kind of new to the process of everything and everyone, and very similar to Commissioner Meisner, and all of a sudden it was, you know, the prevailing wisdom said that Jerry should be the next person in line, and I thought, well, I'll get to know Jerry then, I guess, and that I have. Whether it's traveling out in DC or whether it's just working on projects around here, Jerry, it's been just been a real joy. I mean, I don't know if there's a political bone in his body necessarily, and he looks at everything objectively and really tries to come to consensus, and has done just a fantastic non-pressure sales type of job, and helped me as I came through the ranks a little bit in the 9 years now that I've been here, and has just been a fantastic, maybe a mentor is a good word for the role that I've played here, and I deeply appreciate it. So, thank you.
Commissioner Brastad.
I think, Commissioner, look, you hit the nail on the head with the word mentor. I remember when I started, I'm in my 7th year now, and just going to Jerry with so many questions about how things operate, who does what. You know, I thought, I'm sure one of these times I'm going to walk in his office and he's going to say, you've exceeded your limit now, you can't come in anymore. But it has been truly a pleasure to work with you, and I know we have you yet, where this isn't goodbye. But the one part I do want to mention is I'm excited for you and Sheila to finally move on with the next chapter. Jerry has been kind enough to be in limbo between a couple homes here and there, and has been so dedicated to the work we do here and supporting our county board, that has been so selfless, and I have so appreciated you.
Commissioner.
Thank you, Madam Chair. And Jerry, I mean, everybody understands what these two have said when it comes to how much you have taught each one of us as we come in. And I came in with no knowledge, but you helped me to understand human services, which I sat in the committee at the time, and your love for caring about the needs of people in Anoka County has been very helpful to me to attach and care as much as you do. I want to thank you for being our traveling concierge. We always had our meals arranged and our plans. If we had any spare time, Jerry found a place for us to go visit. And that has really been helpful too and made it more fun to go out and do the things we do. And I look forward to visiting you in Arizona. I'll be there. So thanks so much for your service.
Yes, I mean, of course, I know you the least, and when he said he was retiring, I was like, really? Are you sure? I think you should stay on a little bit longer. You've been amazing, so open door policy all the time, and I think everyone here knows the amount of questions that I have because I am really wanting to learn and do the job well. So I wish you well. Congratulations. It was amazing to hear that resolution and just to really kind of absorb the history that you've had here and the work that you've done. Thank you.
Thank you, Jerry. I've appreciated the almost, it's now 5 years since I became a county, on the county board. And coming in from the city level, I was trying to, okay, how is this all going to work? I knew you from certain events that we'd have around town and through the local elected officials meetings, but you're always waiting to say, okay, how am I going to work with the new administrator and how that's going to work? So I appreciated how you brought me in and we talked, we discussed how things went and how you got and how the actually how the process works. So I really appreciated all that. And from some of the boards and some of the committees that I've been on, like out at Lionel Lakes, and finding out how much you had to do with getting that all started with all the other counties coming in. I really appreciate some of the work you did in your earlier career. It was pretty amazing, some of the stuff that you've done and reading through some of this. But and I've talked with a number of people that have worked with you over the years in corrections and places like that, so it's always nice to hear. But we're going to miss you, but you deserve this probably more than anybody, so congratulations and good luck.
Commissioner?
Madam Chair, it's always good to go last. It's, you know, everything. Well, so much has already been said. It's all true. But I grew up hearing Jerry Soma's name all the time, whether it was from my parents or Father Reiser, or maybe it's because he was in corrections. I'm not sure why I heard his name so much. But who knew, once I met the legend, that he would be so friendly and kind and generous with his time. More than anything, I'll miss his friendship. He's become a close friend. And Jerry and I worked together on a townhome association that we both lived in. Thanks for that, Jerry. It's been a great ride with Jerry, and I really wish him nothing but the best. And couldn't have had my county commissioner career start any better than under the tutelage of Jerry Soma.
If I can, Madam Chair, offer a few things. I've known Jerry just 41 years, so I'm kind of I'm a rookie compared to Jerry's service, but I do have to say, I do remember Jerry chasing juvenile delinquents, probably in that plaid sports jacket at one time. But Jerry, it's been absolute fun to work with you throughout the many years, and he and I often have discussed how did we get to where we are right now. We never thought we would be, but I've always respected and appreciated Jerry and his hard work. So I do also want to offer my thanks, Jerry, for a great job done.
I'd just like to say, Tony, that isn't a sports jacket, it's a suit. His pants are plaid, too.
I know they can make such a thing.
Well, and I know that this is not the last day to have you, but wanted to also just say, echo what my colleagues have said. Certainly a great mentor, a great friend, and the thing about Jerry is that he really is a visionary. And when you heard about the various things that he was involved with establishing within Anoka County, I think that that just exemplifies some of the results of that great vision that he has always had. He is very approachable, always encouraging, and he is a problem solver. He identifies what the problem is, looks at not that we can't do it, but how are we going to solve that issue? And again, he often does that through collaboration, because that's what Jerry is. He's a connector. He brings people together to focus on really tackling some of those very tough issues. And I think, you know, one of the things that I think one of the difficult roles for many people is in being a boss. And so I had someone who sent me an email the other day who has worked for Jerry. And his comment was that he never seemed to age or lose his enthusiasm for work. He was an absolute pleasure to work for. The people that worked for him always knew he was the boss and he could be very firm. However, he was always very approachable when problems arose. Whenever there was a problem, Jerry was always calm, deliberate, and reassuring to those of us that worked for him. I hear other people talk about terrible bosses. I always told those folks, if someone asked me to change one thing about my boss, I would draw a blank. Jerry was that good as a boss and as a person. So I think that that just speaks absolute volumes for the type of person Jerry is. And so many of us have been so incredibly blessed to work with you. So again, thank you so much for everything.
Well, thank each one of you, and thank all the staff that I worked with. I did have to fake that letter a little bit. But again, thank you very much, and you won't, this isn't my last board meeting. Hopefully I'll be here a couple more, but again, I've enjoyed every moment of it. I've enjoyed each one of you. I've enjoyed the staff. And I guess that's why I was here so long, is the enjoyment that I get working with the board and looking at all the challenges you have. It's a very, very complex job, and I know that each one of you and Tony put in 120%. You know, you're considered part-time employees, but I know you work many more than 40 hours, many, many weeks. So you guys do a great job providing leadership, giving me a lot of leeway to do things, and it's just been a great time. And thank each one of you in the audience and the board for what you've done. My wife said, was coming down for this lunch thing, and she said, is the board going to do anything? I said, no, they're not. And so she will be a little disappointed, I guess, but it's taped, I think. So thank you again. Thank you very much.
Thank you, and with that, meeting is adjourned.
Yeah.